Hey guys, welcome back. So we are another day closer. There is lots of stuff going on and I'm going to break down some of the things that have actually piqued my interest. Now, firstly, one of the things, this is a very strange way for me to start off the video, I confess. I'm going to start with a Sussex Squad post. It entertained me, it amused me, I was giggling about it from the moment I read it, right the way, the entire car journey, a 30-minute there and back, with my dogs taking them to doggy daycare today. Now, I've cut off their name because I don't feel that they need any more of a pile on because they should be embarrassed enough themselves. But I'm seeing lots of posts from the Sussex Squad. They've changed their profile picture to Diana, and their latest thing is they are wishing for rain. The weather for Saturday's travesty of a coronation will apparently be pretty rainy and bleak. Princess Diana and her ginger avenger bringing karma. And I thought to myself, sweetie, darling, we are Brits. We are used to the rain. The rain and bleak and miserable days are the one constant that we can guarantee throughout every single season. You might just have it in winter and in autumn. We get it in summer and spring, winter and autumn. We have it the moment that the coals on our barbecue start smoking in the middle of a heat wave. All of a sudden, it's like the scene from Witches of Eastwick. Out of nowhere, a clear blue sky. We're all getting sunburnt. The next minute, torrential downpours. There is a reason why the majority of people in the UK, when they purchase a barbecue, purchase a gazebo. It's not because we're protecting ourselves from the sun. It's because we're protecting our sandwiches and our cakes from having soggy bottoms. Trust me when I say us Brits are made of sterner stuff that a little bit of rain will never stop us from having fun. And one of the best things about rain is it brings to us one of the most magical phenomenons to ever exist, and that is rainbows. And we love a rainbow in the UK. So do your little rain dance, cry your little salty tears. If it does rain, it certainly won't be raining on our coronation parades. So let's get on to some of the most spectacular decorations. We are seeing Big Ben being lit up with lots of beautiful colours again. We are seeing buildings bandaged with ribbons. We are seeing bunting appear outside everyone's houses. Even some of the well-known London Underground stations have got their coronation on. And for people that are travelling on the London Underground, there has been a special message recorded by two very familiar voices.
My wife and I wish you and your families a wonderful coronation weekend.
Wherever you are travelling, we hope you have a safe and pleasant journey.
And remember, please mind the gap.
You've got people camping all over London, up and down the Mall to guarantee the best seats in the house. Now, two well-known faces were also spotted camping down the mall, waiting for the procession to come past. Spitting Image, a puppet-based sketch show that have roasted everyone from Maggie Thatcher, Donald Trump, Greta Thunberg, Tina Turner to the late Queen Mother. No one has ever been safe and everyone is fair game. Well, it seems they've set up their very own encampment for the two ex-royals who many of us are relieved are not actually coming. Well, we know one of them might be coming, but it's still not 100% confirmed.
No. So you're not a fan?
No. I hope he doesn't come.
Really?
They don't come here again. Two of them.
I have to say, mini round of applause. Well said, madame. Well said. Many of us are in agreement. And in some more incredibly cute footage, the King and Queen have already had a mini coronation held at St Gregory's Primary School in Sudbury, Suffolk.
Charles III and his Queen Camilla.
I think it's quite clear to say that coronation fever has well and truly hit the UK. Now, Pietro Illustrations is a very talented artist who I follow on Instagram and Twitter. She does wonderful cartoon designs. And she was also the one that did the Princess Catherine calendar, which some of you managed to buy. Well, she has been doing her guesstimating at what style dress that Catherine may or may not wear and what tiara for the coronation. I have to say the blue dress is my absolute favourite. So before I get on to more of the fun stuff, I'm going to show you a picture and it's going to choke some of you. It made me cry. Look at this, welling up just thinking about it. It's absolutely beautiful, but Oh, it was like a punch in the stomach for me, made me tear right up. There's still something about the Queen that gets me every time, and just when I think I'm ready, it's like, no, not ready, still not ready. I like to think that on the day, Prince Philip and the Queen will be looking down from above, through the rainbows if it rains, and just proudly looking down on their eldest son, who is finally taken his place in history. In some more royal news, Catherine and William were spotted meeting with crowds in London's Soho area. They were visiting the Dog and Duck pub to see how they were preparing for the coronation. William had a go at pouring a pint, and I have to say, as a former barmaid, quite badly. You can't be good at everything, clearly. Whilst there, they also met with other hospitality and business owners in the local area to see how they are dealing with the preparations for the coronation. Obviously, tourism is absolutely massive. The amount of people that are piling into the UK, which is proved by the sheer number of people in the crowds. The royal couple had arrived via train and they jumped onto the Elizabeth line, which is actually named after our late Queen Elizabeth. The news was slightly held back due to security concerns, because I suppose if you'd have said that they're going to be on the Elizabeth line, there would have been a lot of people trying to get on the train as well. So all of these people, these naysayers, people Republicans screaming, yeah, the monarchy's done, the people don't want the royal family anymore. I have to say, sit down and take a seat. The crowds were huge. People had queued for hours. Now, one person on Twitter that I follow, the Royal News Network, they travelled all the way from America for this special week, and they were so lucky they decided to turn up and they got selfies taken with the Princess of Wales. I'm so jealous. And not only that, she then, with the photographs she had taken herself, she has had them printed in newspapers. So congratulations to the Royal News Network, and congratulations to anyone else that Catherine and William took the time to pose for selfies. At one point, there was a little bit of a loving going on between a dog. I'm not sure if William loved the dog more or the dog was in love with William. The wonderful thing about Catherine and William taking their time and posing for selfies, it gives so many people wonderful memories and keepsakes that they can take away and treasure forever. Honestly, there is so much footage of people having a wonderful time meeting the royal couple, and there is an endless stream in fantastic photographs. Now, speaking of photographs, one thing that I did actually forget to mention in my last video was the fact on the 2nd of May, it was Princess Charlotte's birthday, and we were treated to not one, but 2 new photographs of the young princess. The first photograph of her sitting back with her little cute gappy grin was actually taken by the Princess of Wales. The second photo release was taken by Millie Pilkington. She was the one that took the photographs of Catherine with Prince Louis recently. It must have been like a family session. Charlotte is, of course, hugging their family dog called Orla. It's clearly obvious that Princess Charlotte loves her doggy friend, as she has also appeared in another photograph which was released for her birthday last year. They make quite the cute pair, don't they? So the children, as they are growing up, they are morphing into their parents more and more. And I have to say, with Prince Louis, he's definitely Grandpa Middleton. He is absolutely Catherine's father. Prince George, I would say that he's the perfect mix of Catherine and William, and you can also see Michael Middleton in there, but as the children are growing, their features are changing. Now, as for Princess Charlotte, she has got features of the young Queen, and also the Queen's niece, Lady Sarah Chatto, who we saw at the Jubilee, who was glaring at Harry, who was scowling at his brother, but when she was much younger, she looked very similar to how Princess Charlotte looks now. But she also strongly resembles her father, Prince William, who obviously resembled his mother, Princess Diana. So it's funny how genetics work. And as the children are growing, their looks are changing all the time. But I just can't believe how quickly they are growing from birthday to birthday. Now, while we're talking about princesses, I did read your comments. So this morning I got up, made my coffee, and I did watch the full interview with Princess Anne with the Canadian TV network CBC. The interview actually took place in St James's Palace, which is her living room. And as for where I commented on the few clips that I've seen where Princess Anne was talking about the slimmed down monarchy, she actually doesn't think it's a good idea, because when it was initially said, there was a lot more of them. At the time, Andrew was still part of the royal family. You had Harry and his wife, who wasn't much of a contribution, to be fair. And then also you had older royals that have now retired, and you had the Queen and Philip. And like I said in the last video, the Queen and Philip had over 1,000 patronages themselves. So it is a case of, if the royals are going to continue spending a decent amount of time visiting these organisations and charities, they're definitely going to need a few more feet on the ground. Otherwise, it will be a case of handshake, go, next, which I can't see that any of them would be particularly happy with. So another thing that Princess Anne brought up was the fact she no longer has to worry about what dress she is wearing to the coronation. And that is because she was offered the role of the gold stick in waiting. It is a position that has been held since 1998 by the princess and dates back to the 15th century. The position is that of basically one of the king's personal bodyguards. So Princess Anne will be riding on horseback, holding a gold stick, while she follows the procession behind the king and queen after they've been crowned. Media stories had come out to try and say that Anne was criticising her brother. Well, she wasn't. She spoke very highly of him. She actually said, you know what you're getting with Charles, and that he is truly committed. The slavery stuff I mentioned, that was thrown at her, and the interviewer kept going no matter what answer Anne gave. So in the end, Anne basically put a kibosh to it because she was like, look, enough now, let's move on to the next subject. She handled it very diplomatically. You've been very lucky to have an interview with Princess Anne, who is always incredibly busy, and there you are trying to get her to stumble up over something that she, to be honest with you, it's got nothing to do with her. Princess Anne is not only loyal to the crown, but to her family, all of her charities, the military, and most importantly to the country. She handled the interview like a boss, and for those of you that might want to watch it, it is available. It's 24 minutes long on YouTube, so you can watch it after this video. So let's get back to talking about the build up to the coronation. Buckingham Palace had its first ever garden party hosted by King Charles and Queen Camilla. And there was also a lovely appearance from one of the main performers who is appearing on Sunday at the big concert held at Windsor, Lionel Richie, who brought his lovely wife Lisa, who I have to say looked incredibly graceful and beautiful. And that dress, mwah! What more can you say about that? It's absolutely beautiful, and at one point I think that even King Charles was admiring it. Now, speaking of beautiful, and I'll say pretty in pink, we had the Duchess of Edinburgh, alongside her husband, of course, who looked incredibly dapper, the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Edward. Sophie was wearing a fit and flare gingham set by Susanna London, and her fascinator, well, that just took it to a whole new dimension. I'm into hats, but that fascinator is the perfect one. I don't like just the little tufts that women wear. If you're going to wear a fascinator, it's more of the half hat style that I just think can look absolutely amazing. I love it when you see people going to the races. That's one thing that I have got to get on my bucket list. I want to go to Royal Ascot. As for Lionel, he was very excited to be there. Lionel is actually an ambassador since the 1980s of the Prince's Trust charity. And as this story came up, I saw this appear on Twitter. I never knew this. Jimmy Choo, the famous shoe designer made famous by, Sex and the City, Carrie Bradshaw, he got his label off the ground due to a grant which was actually given to him by the King's Prince's Trust charity. How amazing is that? I never knew. So if it wasn't for Charles, some of you lucky ladies wouldn't be actually walking around in your Jimmy Choos. Now, the King and Queen made an appearance, obviously, because they were hosting it, and they were spotted happily chatting with all of the guests. A large number of the guests were made up of the 500 Coronation champions. After 5,000 entries, 500 people were selected by various judges that are all volunteers across many charities and organisations around the UK. The Royal Voluntary Service, the King and Queen Camilla, devised a way to celebrate and recognise all of those that go the extra mile in their local communities. I think that anyone chooses to give their personal time to helping others does deserve recognition. Maybe not because you're saying they need recognition as a pat on the back, but also it's the encouragement to say thank you. People do see you and appreciate what you're doing, and hopefully it encourages other people to think, hey, I've got some free time, maybe I could do this as well. Now, speaking of volunteers, you have got the ladies of the Women's Institute, the WI, and they were the ones, the Jubilee, they were knitting postbox toppers all around the UK, which most of us saw and loved. Now, I've got to say, they've been back in action, and as someone said, never mess with the WI, and they did this. This is one of the best ones I've ever seen in my life. It's Meghan trying to scale up the postbox. I think it's absolutely genius, completely witty. Love it, absolutely love it. Now, in more news, seeing as we've now got onto the Montecito duo, Madame Tussauds has dusted off the Prince Harry dummy, dusted him down, smartened him up, and have placed him with the display of the royal family in readiness for the coronation. That's, of course, if he comes. But on the plus side, it means if Harry is in fact a no-show, then the organisers can quickly run into Madame Tussauds Tussauds nick their dummy and stick it in Harry's seat. Who would know the difference? The IQ would be the same. No one's going to be talking to Harry in fear that he's got recording devices on him anyway. I mean, honestly, would anyone have a clue that it was a stuffed dummy sitting there? I suppose the one thing that might potentially give it away, however, is the dummy has a smile on its face. And that's one thing that we haven't seen on Harry's face for a very, very long time. So on my catty comment of the day, I'm going to love you and leave you, and I will be back with you very soon. So take care for now. Bye.